Hey guys, welcome back. Peter Schmidt here. Today, this lovely Friday, um, we are taking a look at O Come, O Come Emmanuel featuring my friend Gina. I'll throw her little picture up here somewhere. Um, but just so you can go find her, subscribe to her. She's incredible. But yeah, so if you haven't listened to what happened, listen to the whole song yet, I put that out Wednesday. I will let you listen to it again at the very end of this. But for this one, I just want to cut straight to the chase and kind of jump into it, kind of rethink it out with you guys, and just yeah, show you kind of just a little bit behind the scenes of how I wrote this piece. So um, first off, this song is an incredible song, "O Come, O Come Emmanuel," right? Um, but I really wanted to give it a huge cinematic feel. And me and the director, his name is Dana, of the movie that we did this song for, he just knew that he wanted the end to be huge, like just massive, which I think we did a good job at capturing. Um, but I knew I wanted to be like super emotional and then have a little bit of build, build, what? And then I wanted to go massive, right? Like my inspiration for the massive part was like Frozen to Show Yourself. Like that's the level of like just insane and passion and just like musical funness I wanted to go into. And then so for the beginning, it really is just a piano and a pad. And then we, build in some choirs and strings the next one, and then we have brass and full out percussion and runs and breaths and all this great stuff in the last piece. So with that, just kind of like how I walk through it, and of course Gina has her amazing vocal performance on it as well, where she does a good job of following my lead, I guess you could say, as I wanted it to be a certain emotion, a certain emotional connection. So she did a good job at singing both the quiet and the ridiculously Frozen 2 fun performance loud. Yeah, it's just a bop, just a bop. So yeah, I'll go ahead and jump into it. First, we got our piano. I also wanted to make this song more mine, so I definitely tried playing around more with chords than being than just doing like the original chords that the original song has. So that was a big thing that I wanted for myself, is to get some really cool, like some borrowed chords in there and some really pretty minor or major chords just to change up the feel. Like I do that a lot in we'll get to it. But I do that a lot in the third chorus. So we have some really interesting chords being thrown at you that we haven't even heard in the first two sections. But anyways, yeah. So piano. Of course, it's my favorite piano ever. The Niels from Noire piano, but they're the felt piano, and the emotional felt patch preset. So definitely, hands down, by far my favorite. Um, so
Holy exile here until the Son of God appears.
So it's already emotional, but I wanted it to be like cinematic emotional. So we add the pad, the string pad from Arkhis, I believe. Yeah, called Quivering. The preset's called Quivering. Just super pretty, like. Yeah, I did that. So right.
Oh come, Emmanuel, and ransom
Now, when working with a vocal, which I don't do very often, you have to have the vocal, sit in a certain area, and obviously the area that it is right in the center, um, and then everything transpires around it. So this was like definitely the challenge of this song, especially when we get to the big part, having her blast through in the center, and as you can see, my panning structure is separating everything to kind of live around it to make it huge. I definitely used again, like I was saying earlier, I definitely used whoops, I turned off my computer. I definitely used Frozen 2 as my temp track, or my there's a word for it and I can't think of it. But the track that I follow, like mixing through and like how it sounds. And so it's like this is my reference track. That's what it's called. Reference track. So that's my reference track in order to like really set the vocal right on top, but then right not like way too above where she's so loud and you can't hear anything else. So it's just like being able to spread everything out and sit her right there just so you could hear her, and so it can be, so you can feel everything too. So yeah, there's a lot of panning, rising, volume, volume animation, especially like on her vocals, a lot of stuff that you have to work through as the mixer and producer and master. You have to too. Anyways, sorry, getting distracted, but yeah. So these are different chords.
Rejoice, rejoice.
Just wanted to bring it more cinematic, right?
Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
So like definitely for that one, like that would have been a major chord and a minor chord, right? So then we speeded it up,
God of Jesse free.
and then the piano kind of moves to just bass notes. And yeah, and it just becomes more supportive instead of being the main focus. Yeah, keep going down the aisle. And actually, no, we'll go section by section. I think that'll be easier for you to understand. I mean, for you to follow. So then I have my men chordal, right? I believe this is Ark 2, yep. And again, being panned on the right to make room for her. Very, very Lord of the Rings inspired here. Yeah, and so then this other men's choir is actually from Babel. They have a bass section, right? And so used uhs and ahs in here. But they provided more of like a close presence when I really needed the men to be closer. And a slightly different texture too. I would give him that. So both of them together. Again, the very, very heavily inspired Lord of the Rings. And we have the boys. This is also from Ark 2. Metropolis Ark 2, sorry. And it also has some Blackhole reverb on it. It just gives it that rich church choir, beautiful boys section deal. Like if you hear it without it, like it's dry, which is good, but you want it to sing. Yeah. It just makes it so much more prettier. And then the cello, which is doing this, which is backing our here, which of course is the Tina Guo. Of course, can't get any better right now. So if section 1 was Lord of the Rings, then section 2 is Narnia. That's kind of like my gist. So here, I'll start here. So then the cello moves from melody to the bass line with the piano. And then it jumps up to the melody again. Yeah, so that's section 2 cello. But yeah, if you can't tell, this is very Narnia inspired. This harps and glocks. So you get harps from Inspire 1, wherever that is. Glocks, I believe, is Abbey Road. Yep. Just makes a really pretty contextualization for, and they kind of have a repetitive pattern, but you kind of lose it once you get into all the fun stuff, right? We bring in the strings, which is Arc 1 strings. Again, very panned heavily. So yeah, this is definitely Narnia-esque, I should say. We can definitely hear it when we get the percussion in. At least this percussion line is very Narnia. Yeah, anyways. Now jump into our choir. No, I'll come back to percussion. We'll start with the men first. So I do a morph from ooh to ah. So I jump between the Metropolis Ark 2 guys to the Metropolis Ark 1 guys. So a little bit of showcase so you can kind of hear how that does that. Yeah. Then with the Babel guys. Oops. So again, just giving it like a closer look, very mono, closer look. And then we jump the women also come in with them guys as they go to Ah. And this is also Metropolis Ark 1 females. And bring in those lovely boys. So yeah, that really helps it sit in there. We'll jump to percussion now. We just have some. This is, I'm not going to unfreeze it for you, but it's action strikes. Like I mentioned before, that they're kind of an easy place to start as like a bread and butter. But then if you want to add like pickles and cheese and some meat, Abbey Road One, their percussion is so good. And then I use the cymbal from. I use the snare rolls, I believe. Yeah, from Jaeger. Yeah. Since Abbey Road One doesn't have controllable snare rolls, so like I could make that as long as I want with a mod wheel, right? That's why that's there. But other than that, everything else sounds super good. It's very march style. Okay. Now, getting into the fun part, the big section, our Frozen 2 section. Yeah, it was just kind of a continuation of the instruments we have now, and add some low strings, add some brass, and some timpani. And that's what really made it just become even more big. And then, of course, having Gina's voice just go balls to the walls, like is where it's like so dang good. So we got this little midsection where she's doing the come on.
Come, oh come, oh come, oh come.
Yeah, so this come section. Now my harps are Glocks. They're just doing some really basic stuff. Again, mixing that with our, our high strings. This helps hit it. See, there's one of our new chords right there. I'll turn on the string runs too, which is Sonokinetic's Modal Runs. It was free when it first came out, so it's pretty awesome. So then we start doubling, we go high and low. Yeah. We throw in mid strings. On with our low strings. which again are our Metropolis Ark 1 low spiccatos. Super, super strong. Adding everything together. Oh yeah, and then we have our kind of our cello, which is our counter melody, along with the boys in the French horns. So strings back on, just so you can hear in context. It's nice to hear things in context. Yeah, definitely listen for that melody here in the choirs. We will do ends first though, per huge. So if you can hear in the woman's here. So as she's doing choir, she's also, chords, she's also singing the melody with the cello and the boys' choir. So, there. Definitely a very Marvel-esque chord turnaround there. So there's our choir, and now we get to the fun part, which is our brass. So yeah, here's our French horn. Trombone. Oh, I guess I should tell you what these are from. Should be from Metropolis Ark 1. Metropolis Ark 1. You have the bass trombones. And then, yeah. There's that Marvel turnaround. And there's that pretty melody. But yeah. And then I got some trombone ensemble marcatos from Berlin Brass, wherever you see it. I have, there you go. And so these just kind of help the whole section just punch it, right? And then we have our tuba. This makes our brass section. Such a good chord. Love when the tuba goes high and then drops down to that gorgeous low note. So cool. Those always make me happy. But yeah, now moving along. I have a percussion. Timpani. So they're doing toms. Action Strikes are doing tom stuff. And these are doing my high-end section. Together, they just sound huge. And then add the timpani, snare rise. Also from lovely Abbey Roads. Really gets that nice room sound that is very TV. So that with our low end there. So yeah, that is O Come Emmanuel. If you haven't heard the whole thing yet, I will show it to you now. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hit like, give me a comment if you want to say something or ask me a question. I always read them. I always reply. If not, I always like them if there's no replies necessary, or heart them, because you can do that now, I guess. But yeah, subscribe if you want to, but no worries. And yeah, we will see you guys later. Bye.
Oh come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lowly exile here. Until and give them victory.